Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm going to tackle some more puzzles in this video, this time focused on pawn endgames. I'm going to spend about 15 minutes here and just share my thoughts throughout. Feel free to try these on your own. I'll be sharing if it's white or black to move. In this first one, it's black to move. A quick note here, this little drop-down box area, I have selected this time around the easiest. So this is in relation to my current rating. Current rating is around 2600, so we're going to be getting fed, in short, puzzles around the 2000 level, and I'd prefer to just have this session be unrated. Okay, black to move here, immediately drawn towards this move here. We have to make some progress with the king. Nothing's exciting with these pawns over here, so how to make progress, this is the only way I'm really seeing to do that. H5, and even if we temporarily give up the pawn, our king is going to be able to enter, get to this g4 square, and knock out the h pawns. So not really too much to consider. We have this undermining idea. Okay, so it does carry out a little bit more. I didn't consider that this was well, I didn't think king was going to be played there. I figured just the capture. In this case, take here, push. Yeah, this one actually carries out a bit further. So this happens from time to time. I did these just the other day, a few hundred of these king and pawn endgames, and sometimes difficult to anticipate all the different variations. Getting that first move or two correct, though, definitely most important. So from here, I think how it's going to play out is this capture here, we push, and we enter here, and at that point we're threatening to go here and win the pawn. So take here, push, capture here, here, boxing out our king. And then we have a tempo move. We could push our pawn, and after the king moves, we'll be able to next make headway with our king. So let's see if it in fact goes that far. It is going that far. Important not to just waste this tempo here with the pawn. We just want this f5 square. It's going to go any further. It continues. So from here, it's going to have to be g6. Definitely don't want to back off with the king. And I imagine puzzle solved from here. Oh, I guess we're going to get into a pawn race here. We have nothing at this point besides capturing the pawn. I don't think you have to go too much further. You just know, in this case, that that's the only path forward up until this point. If it did carry out from here, how is this working? I don't think, I think it's going to be a case where we promote first, white promotes next. We're not going to be promoting with check or anything. I guess we could just take here. Yeah, it's going to be a case where black would end up getting the queen first. You know, we're not no direct way to exchange queens here, but I guess we could grab another pawn with the check or something. But okay, let's move on here to puzzle number 2, where it is white to move. All right, so I'm thinking we create a passed pawn with this. It's not going to be a king move. So here takes push. Something to note here, this is where the king is located. So this promotion square, we hit with check. So if we're promoting first, we're going to win. It's hitting with check, but this pawn is very fast. Oh, you know what? How this is going to play out then? Black promotes first. We promote next. And after this check, if the king goes here, we give mate on g4. And if the king goes here, we would give a mate on the h file. So after a4 takes b5, a3, c6, a2. Well, there'd be the first to capture probably. Let's revisit this. a4 takes, b4, a4, c6, takes, and then push. Black promotes first, we promote next, and we're going to be giving checkmate soon thereafter, if it even goes that far. All right, this should be the main idea. There really isn't anything else to consider. So really identifying in many of these cases where that pawn promotes and kind of just visualizing it as a queen and seeing if the enemy king is vulnerable in any way. Is there going to be a check? Something I like to do. So sometimes it'll be a case here where we don't want to take, and instead we'll push here. Maybe the king would be on this diagonal. We're landing a check, but this is the dream square, and the king is just moving in this case. Things aren't really going to change after push. We promote, black promotes, and we give mate. All right, this one is a puzzle solved. Moving on here, where it is white to move. Okay, it looks like we're going to have multiple pawn races. There's nothing to really consider here in this case. We're going to have to push. Push again, black promotes. And okay, so I guess the question there will be, do we go in and exchange queens? Check here, exchange queens, takes. We're not going to win that race. Black would end up getting a pawn first. I think the idea with this one is going to be after we promote and black promotes, we take this pawn with check. And then we're in a spot to eventually force the queens off, if it even goes that far. So with our queen on this square giving check, if the king goes to the c file, we have that skewer. What other options does the king have? If he goes here, we have that skewer. What else to consider here? This square, we would have this skewer. And if the king goes here with our queen here, I guess we could go here. There's probably more than one way forward from that point. But this one's definitely going to be the pawn run. Let's see how far it actually takes it out. This is really the main test with this one. Where do we go from here? And I'm guessing it's going to be grabbing that pawn for the win. Yeah, that is correct. And I am a little bit curious with this one. So if we went in for this check, I was saying king here would drop the pawn. So king here would be the way. And this is apparently going to be a draw. So I'm just a little curious here. If the king goes here, any other square, we're getting the king off. Yeah, we have multiple options from here. I was saying queen e4. And yeah, okay, so even if the queen blocks, then we get into an ending like this where a king continually will box out the king. We don't want the king getting to the corner, and then we're ready to go with this. So as you can see, these definitely go out many, many moves. Even though it looks simple, there's often many moves involved. Anything else to consider with this one? I really don't think so. And the king move. Yeah, I'm not seeing no. Oh, okay. This is actually one way. Next up, we're going to be able to get the queens off with a variation like this. Okay. Moving on here. This one here, it's white to move. I know the answer. We want an outside pass pawn. The outside pass pawns in the ending are much more valuable than center pawns. So we're going to start with this guy. And then this one. And then after the capture, we have an outside passer that cannot be caught. So we don't care about winning this pawn. This is just a race. So here, if the king tries to come over, here, push. And then we have this little box. Can the king get in the box on that next move? He's on c5 in that position. Not able to get inside the box. Cannot catch this pawn. Okay, let's put this one on, not waste any time grabbing this guy. We push again. Keep on pushing, and we're winning this race by quite a bit in this case. All right, moving on here. This one, it is black to move. Okay, I don't see anything else besides going hunting for a pawn, and there isn't any delicate king move involved with opposition or anything going here. Or is there? No, I don't think so. And also, I want to point out that in all the puzzles I've gone through so far with these pawn endings, I've never yet seen one where the goal was to uh, hold a draw. Not that there still can't be, but all right. Let's see. Here, 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 here. Yeah, I think it's okay. Once we're at this point, we just take next. This king is going to take this pawn, and then we simply step over, and we're going to get this guy. Yeah, there really isn't much to calculate here. So if we somehow looked at this and said, okay, for some reason, let's get diagonal opposition, I guess that would give white time to come over here, 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 and after this, he's there just in the nick of time to hang on to that pawn. So that's why we just immediately run in for this A pawn in this case. Okay, I didn't anticipate this move, but we're just going to grab the pawn and then hang on to this pawn. I imagine if the king steps over, okay, this one is considered puzzle solved. Here, no, actually after this we could just bolt and the pawn can't be caught. So let me just go to the line that I thought was going to be played. It works out like this. There, and the king just has to wait until we take this pawn here. Boom, boom, boom. And we're winning the pawn. Get out of the way and run. Okay, moving on here. This one is black to move. Okay, so we have tension here. I'm immediately drawn to this move to disrupt the defender, trying to deflect the defender of this pawn. So after this push, it may be a case where we end up with pawns so far away from one another with two files separating them that they both cannot be stopped. So these guys in general, very good connected pass pawns, but sometimes pawns that are on, let's say, rank F and C could just advance. If they're far enough, they won't be able to be stopped. And I think that's the case we may find ourselves in here. So after this check, not exactly sure what black's move will be. If the capture, I believe we're going to take with this pawn. And then I'm not quite sure where the king is going to go from there. It may be that the king steps up here, keeping this pawn defended. And in that position, I believe we push the pawn. That might be a key line. And after the king goes here to stop that advance, then with this tension still on board, we would capture. And we're going to end up with pawns here and here, the king here. And he's not going to be able to stop all of our pawns. Our king can easily defend against these two, and these guys here end up just offsetting in the end. So I'm going to put this one on, create tension, trying to deflect the defender. We want to keep pressure here, so we're undoubling, very natural reply, taking towards the center, and this one just goes no further. So a little bit curious, if the king stepped up here, is the idea to push with this guy? Okay, that's one of the winning ways. We have a pick. Oh, this is actually nice too. Okay, so I was thinking this because it pretty much forces this in order to stop the pawn. And in this case, okay, it does turn out that this specific line, the only move would in fact be to go ahead and take the pawn. And how would this play out? Here we could push, take the pawn, no stopping this guy. This is what I had in mind. This separation these two files of separation between the pawns. If these guys are far enough advanced, no stopping them. Something else to point out? No, not really. Oh, this line here. This is what I wanted to point out. We could take on this square, and after this capture, we could push here. And as I was pointing out with this box idea, is the king able to get inside the box on this next move? If he could get here, but now we got this pawn around that stops it. So we're going to be able to push through in this case with this specific line. Okay, I'm going to stop here for this video with the pawn endings. Feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.